The camera was already rolling when she asked the question. It wasn't dramatic. There were no lights, no microphone, just a kitchen, 2 women, a tray of undecorated cookies, and one daughter with a timing sharp enough to cut glass. Kai Trump turned to her mother, Vanessa, and in the most casual, unhurried voice imaginable, asked, "Is love in the air?" Then she smiled, turned away from the camera, and waited. The pause that followed lasted maybe 3 seconds. But in those 3 seconds, Vanessa Trump's face told a story that every article, every press release, and every carefully worded Instagram caption had been trying to contain for nearly a year. Her face went warm. Her eyes widened just slightly. And then, almost involuntarily, she laughed. "Oh my God. Here. Nice trick question, Kai. I wasn't born yesterday." The clip went viral within hours. Not because of what was said, but because of what wasn't. Because sometimes, the most revealing moments happen not in press conferences or red carpets, but in kitchens, on Valentine's Day, between a mother and a daughter who both know exactly what they're doing. This is that story. The full story. And it goes far deeper than one question about cookies. Music. Cinematic score begins. Low, steady, curious. If stories like this, real, human, unfiltered, are what you come here for, you're in the right place. There are many more waiting for you on this channel. Before we understand the moment, we need to understand the person who created it. Kai Trump is 18 years old. She has 1.45 million YouTube subscribers. She made her LPGA Tour debut in November 2025. And she is the daughter of Vanessa Trump and Donald Trump Jr., which means the name alone carries an entire universe of attention, expectation, and noise. But if you spend even 10 minutes watching her content, something becomes clear very quickly. Kai Trump is not performing fame. She is living a life that happens to be filmed. She vlogs about her dog, about recovery from surgery, about the nerves before a big tournament. She laughs easily. She's unguarded with her mother in a way that feels genuinely rare for someone who grew up as publicly as she did. And that is precisely why what happened in the cookie video caught so many people off guard. Because it wasn't a media strategy. It wasn't a controlled leak. It was a teenager sitting next to her mom, deciding on instinct to ask the one question that millions of people had been waiting for someone to ask. In January 2026, just days before the cookie video went live, Kai had shared difficult news. She had undergone surgery on her left wrist, a procedure to repair damage to her ECU tendon and her triangular fibrocartilage complex. For a golfer preparing to join the University of Miami's women's team in fall 2026, that is not a small thing. That is months of work, carefully constructed plans, and a future timeline thrown suddenly into uncertainty. And yet, days after the surgery, she was in her kitchen, decorating cookies, laughing with her mother, asking trick questions with a grin that gave nothing away. Whatever pressure she was carrying, she wasn't wearing it. The video was titled simply, "My Mom Answers Your Questions." On the surface, it was exactly what it sounded like, a casual Q&A while baking. Vanessa talked about her daily routine, her favorite shows, her love of tennis. She laughed about things mothers laugh about. She was warm, natural, and clearly comfortable in front of her daughter's camera. Then came the question about the cookies. Kai asked her mother when was the last time she had baked cookies for Valentine's Day. Simple enough. Except, and this is where Kai's timing reveals itself as something genuinely sharp, she let the question hang just long enough for the implication to settle. The implication being, these cookies, right now, on Valentine's Day, who might they be for? Vanessa saw it coming. Almost. Her eyes shifted almost imperceptibly before the words came out. "Is love in the air?" And Kai was already turning away from the camera, grinning, unable to hold the expression any longer. Vanessa's response was instant. "Oh my God. Here. Nice trick question, Kai. I wasn't born yesterday." Her face flushed. She laughed. And then she composed herself with the practiced grace of someone who has been navigating public attention for a long time. But the internet had already seen what they came to see. Drop a comment. Did Vanessa's reaction tell you everything? Or did she play it perfectly? People are divided on this one. Because what makes that moment genuinely fascinating is not that Vanessa was caught off guard. It's that she handled it, and in handling it confirmed everything she was trying to deflect. Later in the same video, when conversation turned to golf, Vanessa said something that viewers immediately flagged. "I never played golf. I'm still learning how to play golf." Learning to play golf. Present tense. Active tense. The comments section did not miss it. One viewer posted simply, "Learning to play golf? Boyfriend is Tiger Woods." That single comment accumulated thousands of responses. It was not a scandal. It was not a controversy. It was something rarer and, in many ways, more interesting. A genuine, unscripted family moment that accidentally became a window into one of the most watched relationships in sports. Let's step back. Because to understand why that cookie video hit the way it did, you need to understand the context it landed in. Tiger Woods and Vanessa Trump began dating around Thanksgiving of 2024. For months, they kept the relationship private. Then, in March 2025, Tiger Woods confirmed it publicly, with a post on Instagram that read, "Love is in the air and life is better with you by my side. We look forward to our journey through life together." He added that they hoped to keep their private lives respected. It was, by any measure, an understated announcement. No interview, no magazine cover. Just a single post, a few words, and a decision to let those words carry whatever weight they would. The world responded accordingly. The story trended globally. Tabloids ran front pages. Golf media ran full breakdowns. Because this wasn't just Tiger Woods dating someone new. This was Tiger Woods, after years of very public personal turbulence, stepping forward and saying, "Here is someone I choose. Here is something I am not hiding." In January 2026, Tiger celebrated both his 50th birthday and 30 years of his TGR Foundation at a gala in Palm Beach Gardens. 300 guests attended. The foundation, launched alongside his late father Earl in 1996, has now reached over 2 million young people through STEM education programs. For the evening, a $50 million fundraising target was announced for 2026. Vanessa was there. Kai was there. People magazine, sourcing a guest at the event, noted that Tiger spent much of the evening by Vanessa's side while greeting the room. The description from that source was simple. They seemed to have a great time. Not explosive. Not theatrical. Just two people at an event, clearly comfortable in each other's company, in front of 300 witnesses and a camera pool. That is the relationship as the public has been permitted to see it. Consistent, low-key, occasionally warm. And then, Kai's kitchen video happened, and suddenly it felt a little bit warmer. Here is a detail that tends to get buried in the broader headlines. Kai Trump and Charlie Woods, Tiger's son, attend the same school, the Benjamin School in Palm Beach Gardens. They have both competed at the Junior Invitational at Sage Valley. Tiger's daughter, Sam Woods, graduated from that same institution in 2025. So when people speak about Tiger and Vanessa's relationship, they are not speaking about two individuals who met at a public event and are navigating an ordinary adult romance. They are speaking about two families with children, with shared spaces, with overlapping lives, who have been quietly, carefully building something together. Vanessa has been present at Kai's golf events. At the Annika, Kai's LPGA debut in November 2025, Vanessa was inside the ropes for the Pro-Am session, cheering from the gallery. There's footage of Kai nearly holing a chip shot on the 16th, and Vanessa's voice cutting through the crowd. "Excellent! That is a mother watching her daughter compete at the highest level of her sport. That is not a photo opportunity. That is presence. Watching a family quietly come together like this. Does it change how you see the story? There's something here most coverage is missing entirely." And at the same time, underneath all of it, Kai was carrying something the public was only beginning to understand. Her left wrist surgery in January 2026 came at a moment when her golf trajectory felt most certain. University of Miami in the fall, more LPGA appearances on the horizon, a platform that was growing faster than almost anyone predicted, and then an operating room, a recovery timeline, an Instagram post telling her 1.45 million followers that the next chapter would have to wait a little longer. What she posted that week was measured, honest, and quietly brave. She didn't dramatize it. She didn't disappear. She just told people what happened, and then, days later, showed up in her kitchen to make Valentine's Day cookies with her mom. That is, in its own way, also a form of strength. So why did it go viral? It is a fair question, because on paper nothing happened. No announcement, no confirmation, no scandal. A daughter asked a question. A mother deflected it with a laugh. They kept decorating cookies. But the internet has a very particular sensitivity to authenticity, to the moments between the managed ones. And what viewers responded to, what sent that clip into repost after repost, was the feeling that they had witnessed something real. Not staged, not planned, not filtered through a publicist or shaped by a brand strategy. Just Kai, reading the moment perfectly, asking the one question that was hanging in the air, and doing it with a grin that said she already knew exactly what she was doing. The athletic intelligence that allows her to read a fairway, to calculate distance and wind and risk in a fraction of a second. It turns out that same intelligence applies to rooms, to timing, to the specific weight of an unasked question. She didn't expose her mother. She didn't create a controversy. She created a moment. And there's a difference. When Vanessa said, "I wasn't born yesterday," that was also true. Vanessa Trump has been navigating public life for over 2 decades. She knows where cameras are. She knows how words travel. She chose to laugh. She chose to deflect warmly rather than coldly. And in doing so, she revealed not a secret but a comfort level. At ease with being teased about something that, clearly, brings her some happiness. That is what the internet saw. That is why it spread. There is a version of this story that gets told as gossip, as celebrity intrigue, as a connection between a famous golfer and a famous political family, filtered through a teenage girl's YouTube channel. That version isn't wrong, but it's incomplete. The fuller version involves a man who has spent the last several years rebuilding. Physically, surgically, personally. 7 surgeries. A car accident that nearly cost him his leg. A return to competitive golf that his own body has made extraordinarily difficult. And in the middle of all of that, a decision to let someone in. Publicly, with his name attached. It involves a woman raising children with enormous public exposure, while also navigating her own identity, her own presence, her own relationship to a world that has always watched her through the lens of who she was connected to rather than who she actually is. And it involves an 18-year-old who, recovering from wrist surgery, preparing for college golf, managing a YouTube channel with 7 figures of subscribers, found a way to tell a story about her family without saying a word. One question, one grin, one camera already rolling. The internet called it catching her mom red-handed. But maybe the more accurate word is this. She let us in. Gently. On her own terms. With just enough to keep us watching. That video posted during Kai's recovery, on Valentine's Day, in between golf tournaments and surgical follow-ups and college preparations, has now been replayed by millions of people. Not because it revealed something scandalous. Because it revealed something true. And that is, increasingly, the rarest thing the internet has to offer. Kai Trump will begin at the University of Miami in fall 2026, if her recovery stays on schedule. Tiger Woods is considering a return to the Masters in April. Vanessa Trump continues to learn golf, from a teacher whose credentials, it's fair to say, are fairly unimpeachable. The story is still moving, still unfolding, one public moment at a time. And if you want to be here when the next one lands, this channel is for people who want the real story, told properly with the time it deserves. Every new story is here when you're ready for it.